go. That's right. It's the underground. We're back at you. Still breathing. Another one. Here on this November 24th, 2025, checking in. Much love. God bless. Good evening. Thank you, Steely. Thank you, Steve. Right at the gate. Thank you, Kathy, for the coffees right at the gate. Got to give a shout out to Uncommon News, man. I retweeted him over on my page. Make sure to follow him. He does good work, and then also dropped a really good video today on what he believes is the rollout of basically digital ID. I mean, it's in Texas for sure, but it looks like the way that it's set up, it's something that's going to be rolled out full scale. We know this. Whatever chance they got to roll it out here or there, they're going to. So make sure to check him out. Uncommon News 777, the last retweet on my X page, and he's one of the mods, and he's in some of the music that we make out here. So much love, brother Hoodie Ross out there. Warlock, thank you everybody for the feedback. Tiffany, Miami Beach in the house. Must be nice. EC, much love. Kimmy, Geo. And Geo, thank you for all the images, everything that you send over. I've got a backup, a log here of all these different images that I've got to share. So I do thank everyone that sends them. If you want to get anything to me, dabu7 at yahoo.com is the email. You can get my attention in the chat with a super chat or at dabu77. And thank you, Dreadlock, for that super chat. Much love right back at you, Dreadlock420. Everyone out there, hope you're having a good day. I know some days are good, some days are bad. And Bone Score, I'm so glad you just chimed in. Yes, thank you for the coffees. And I looked for that. Could you please resend it one more time? I looked for the name that you sent. I looked and looked, even looked in the spam. I did not see it. So please send it again. Be appreciated. I want to check it out. Pixie, Kimmy, much love. John Boy, thank you for everything, man. Diamond, good evening. And this will not be a super long stream, but I'm gonna try to knock everything out smooth in a timely manner here. As always. Yeah, I've got all that there beans. We're gonna be covering all the madness. And no snow in Manitoba still, it's a blessing. Hey, I'll take no snow. I don't like snow no more. Yeah, it's beautiful. It'll always have that, and like a white Christmas will always be a white Christmas, right? Outside of that, I don't want to deal with it. You know how hard it is to get out of a gravel driveway anyway. When it's snowed in, it's damn near impossible, especially if it's in the shade. You got to wait for it to melt off. If you dare try to shovel it, it will compact down to a sheet of ice. Remember me telling you this if you haven't learned already. So you just got to sit around and wait, and it takes like an extra week for it to melt off because it's packed down really thick. So you're better off. You just got to wait it out, man. For real. Have some serious machinery to get you up and down, in and out of the snow, especially on the mountain. Or park a vehicle at the bottom. Miami Beach sounds awesome. I don't normally go to Miami Beach, be honest with you. My one experience in Miami did not go good. We drove all the way down there straight from here, got there, and it started with the hotel that we got to. They said that blah, blah, blah didn't have this or that. Sitting out in the vehicle, tired, passing out, finally got in. And then, like, we weren't there long. Just really there to check it out. And, like, it was a short window. By the time I got back, they charged me again. Okay? So, it's a double charge. Then they charged me again. Triple charge. Okay? And this wasn't a cheap hotel. That pissed me off bad. I went back and forth with these people. Japan and House. Went back and forth with these people, man. Forever over it. It was such a bad experience. I told myself I'm never going back to Miami. Not to say I wouldn't, but if duty calls, gotta go to Miami. But what's Spirit sliding in with jokes. Probably. Man, I tell you what. I did a fast since the last time we spoke. I just broke the fast here before I went live because I didn't want to be in a live and get the feeling sometimes you get when you're in a fast. But yeah, I had a pretty smooth fast since Friday. So in 3 days, it's always good to reset some things, try to get at least to the ketosis part where it sets in good. Yeah, where's not expensive? South Florida in the house. And much love. I got family that lives down there. So, I've been down in Florida when I can, and never know. It's like a second home to me. So it's um FAA prepared for the busiest Thanksgiving travel in 15 years. So heads up. I know a bunch of you are going to be heading out, or at least going to have people coming to you or something like that for Thanksgiving. I wish you all safe travels. We've got more than 360,000 flights scheduled between Monday the 24th and Tuesday, December 2nd, delivering people to and from their destinations across the country. And just imagine if this government shutdown was still underway and we didn't have guys in towers and all this other stuff. It'd have been a nightmare. Been an absolute nightmare. Of all times, too, of all times of the year. So just from that aspect, I'm glad they got the whole thing over with, although it's going to come back in January. Let me tell you, the whole thing with the government shutdown, they only reopened it for a small amount of time into January again. So it's going to come right back up, right around the corner again. But it'll be past the holiday season for the most part, so it won't affect things like this. But yeah, I guarantee you there's going to be some headaches out there. And depending how far north you are, there's going to be some delays. All right, off to the coffees. For all my coffee drinkers out there. Around the world, Luxembourg tops the list. Then Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Austria, Switzerland, Netherlands, all those places, man. At the very top, the United States, in the middle of the pack. Down here in the middle. But Denmark has the most expensive cup of Joe, of coffee, costing an average of $5.40. So I don't know what you're paying. I know that varies in the United States. Like you can walk into a Starbucks and get something like Cincinnati, Ohio for like, but I would say it's probably going to be economically a normal price for a Starbucks. But if you walk into the Starbucks in LA, Chicago, New York, it's going to be way more. So there's a big variance just from the cities here in the prices that you pay. New York City, stupid expensive, man. Stupid expensive. And I can only imagine that these other big cities are too. Like, much love, everybody out there. Good to see everybody. Look at this one. College educated oversupply is a crisis that is getting worse. This isn't good. College educated job loss rises. So this is where everything starts to turn on its head. You've got all these white collars out here with degrees looking for jobs, and we just kind of double topped. And this isn't no stock. This is just a graph on tracking all this stuff, but it's like double topping. And it looks like it's going to pull back again from where it's at. If it hits this channel, it's definitely not good. And let's just be honest about it. It's going to happen. AI is going to start wiping everything out. I seen a clip today, and it was like, it was making fun of how aunties could replace the AI robots, and it had a point. It was showing how, well, at least the Tesla models and all that, they're only so quick with their movements. They're not like lightning quick. But it was showing these ladies on the line, the assembly line, that were just boom, 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 like super quick. And it was almost like, right, AI and robots are nice and all, but they're definitely not. They're not beating them at this point. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. But I will say this, like, it all comes down to a cost thing. Once the business says, yeah, it's worth just doing AI and robots from here because we can cut out humans. I hate to say it, guys, but from a business perspective, this is super bad because everyone wants to save money. And This is super bad. Like if all of us like we're sitting there in a room together, they started calling names out like you're gone. Like almost everybody would get the axe because AI is gonna wipe them out. Oh man, this is just isn't good. That's why I said do your homework big time. If you've got kids, any family, anything like this, anyone that's getting ready to go into college, thinking about it, you better think hard, man, because where I see us holding on to jobs the most are like handyman type stuff. Like you got something wrong at the house, you need someone to come out and fix it. Like tree branch went to the roof, you need someone to patch it. Something wrong with the vehicle mechanic, things like that. Like just there's those things that are always going to be needed until I say mechanic and until they convert society over. We know that there's a plan now. They're going to phase out all the fossil fuels, which is semi exciting because to me it just means one thing. You can only do that one way. You can only phase out fossil fuels around the globe and oil and everything that everyone uses. If you're going to roll out a brand new technology, it has to be 0 point. It has to be. It has to be. And to be honest with you, you really cannot feed the whole future system without it. You can't. It's ridiculous. You would just keep building all these little nuclear plants all over the place and doing all this other stuff to try to supply the power to feed AI. AI alone. Right? You guys might have seen Bitcoin crashing out really hard here recently. All the FUD was, well, there was a lot of different FUD with it, but some of the FUD was that, and Vitalik helped push it, was that quantum computers were going to crack Bitcoin within 3 years. And, they used that last time. It didn't stop this whole bull market from coming and running, and no one mentioned it while it was running. But now when it's coming down, all of a sudden they pull it out of their pocket. And I know how they work now. I know how this whole game operates. This does not mean the crypto is dead by any means. They've done this left and right, and they also scare the crap out of everybody with all this tax crap every time, right at the end, and they drop all these different headlines to get everyone to sell. So a bunch of people sold en masse, especially the guys that heard this news first. And it was all a trap by your Trump administration. Trump administration that everyone thought, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Well, now they're going the opposite way on all types of other stuff. But for college, again, you better think long and hard about spending some money or going in debt on a degree that's not going to get you anywhere. Because I know a lot of people that continue to pay that to this day constantly, and they never got a job with that degree. All right, let's get to the farmers update here. Because there's been a back and forth, and there was supposed to be this big deal with China. Because, believe it or not, our farmers depend a lot on China and China buying things like soybeans and other goods en masse. And when that market's gone, it hurts us. And it hurts them too. There's no other way around it. So now Trump says the relationship with China is extremely strong. Oh, really? You just remember that. You remember that as I get through this stream, and you guys already know everything with China. They're embedded all across this country. Pulled right up next to our military bases, suspicious as heck. Certain states are making moves because the feds are like a setup. They don't care. Trump's just letting them in, don't care. He's like, oh, we need them. And then saying that Americans suck. We're not smart enough to fill these new jobs, and they got to bring in 600,000 more Chinese. Like, are you serious? And Laura Ingraham even fought with Trump and was like, you're telling me, we've got smart Americans here. We've got Americans that can do this. And he's like, no, you don't. It's like, dude, Kid, like, you piece of, like, I can't stand Trump. Um, because I see the instrument that he is. And now that we're finally well past the election and the dust is settled and all this, and other things have gone into motion, other stars above have gone into motion, things have shifted and changed. And all this pedo stuff caused a huge crack in Trump's base. And it's fractured in many different ways, but the whole pedo protecting thing really did it. That's what set people, off on a different path. Like, no, and I'm gonna get on more of that later. Jay, much love, brother. I don't understand how you can make this comment. We're invaded. Christopher Wray, on his way out the door, said that the Chinese are in everything. They're in our water. They're in the telecommunications. They're in the grid. They're in everything, and they're everywhere. And then he like flipped this the bird and was off, like laughing. It feels like a setup. And of course, if anything happens, China get the blame, but it's all for the history books. There has to be a bad guy that did it because our government's not going to, even though they're complicit, just like on Blind 11 and all these other events, they're complicit. People are in the know, have knowledge ahead of time. I just don't understand the whole thing with China, his affinity for them, when, they're the ones, by and large, that are pushing all the drugs. What we're all told is that China's the big drug pushers, and they pushed it into Venezuela and these other areas, at least the products to make it, the raw material. And then it's all made there, and it's kicked up through Central America and through the Caribbean on these drug boats into America. A lot of that is very true. Okay? Well, China, man, this whole thing with Taiwan, I think it's going to escalate. Remember, China has openly said they have a plan to take back Taiwan by 2027. Time's ticking, guys. 2026, right on the doorstep. I'm going to get into more of this later. I'm just into the economic stuff, but all this ties in. And we'll see here. If this kicks back up, I just don't see. It says right down here, the Taiwan issue is taking center stage. I don't see how all this is going to stay in motion. I feel like it's going to fall apart at some point. Just, it's so fragile. And obviously, China is like vying to be the new leader on the planet. If anything happened to the U.S., you just remember this, and it's destined to. We already know this. The Masons have been told us. Manly P. Halston wrote a book about it. This place is coming down. It'll be reset. And when it gets reset, the whole globe gets reset. Okay? The whole globe gets reset at the same time. All these different places. I've been warning you about this, and man, I'm telling you, more than ever, all the warning signs are there. We've talked about red flags like Warren Buffett, the world's richest man, sitting in like a ton of cash, record amounts of cash, right? And like getting out of all the bank stocks and all this other stuff. Things that you should probably watch and pay attention to. Well, we've got two investing titans now warning about the same thing. And they're saying that the same thing. Long story short, this whole thing's about to come down. And gold and silver is going to be one of your best hedges, period. Something that I've told you forever, but I just want you to see that these other guys are like warning about it now, that like this whole thing is about to go. Okay, so these guys are coming out openly and saying this. For the record, it's some of these guys love, that are in the know. They love to make these calls right before it happens, because like the guys that called 2008, I mean, some of these guys, they're in the know. They know. And the reason they have these really good track records is because they're in the know. And, you can have a really good track record when you know the playbook, of everything that's going to get laid out all the time. So look at this. I've told you France is about to implode, and they are. Ireland, the UK, all those places not doing good. Uh, Japan, the bond issue there. And thank you, Silver Sailor, for always updating on that. I know you're over in Japan. But yeah, that's the whole bond issue tied into everything with Japan. And then Japan also with China, as we're going to get to here in a minute. Japan won the watch big time in the economic showdown here in Germany. Look at this. Almost every German city is on the verge of bankruptcy. Over. It's over. In the Chinese economy, same. It's all going to be reset. Same time. They're all right at bubble bursting timing. It's like, what's the odds? Like you've got them all from like, and there are enough of the big dogs that are part of NATO and in the whole world economy that's all you need just to bring down the U.S. economy. All you got to do is take down 10 of the biggest stocks. This is kind of the same way. Take down 10 of the biggest countries here and the whole thing gets reset. Digital. This is it. And this ties right in with what Uncommon was saying here earlier with this whole thing being rolled out with a digital ID, and they're coming down whatever avenue they can to push it. Okay, push all this stuff. Every state's different here in the United States. That's the problem with them trying to push something full scale. The only way they can do that is like Trump tries to ram it through an executive order. But even then, states could, in reality, buck back on anything. But I'm just showing you the stage is set for global collapse. And gold on a tear. What did they say? It just broke 42 today. So again, people were like, "Oh, Taboo, it's pulled back off." Well, yeah, it was damn near going parabolic. Nothing just keeps going straight up. It's now caught a channel up here around 4,000, and it's gonna bob and dip in this channel until it pops up and breaks 5. You watch. If there's something crazy, if they orchestrate something out there, they could always have some huge event globally that could make this price swing down. They could definitely manufacture it. They manufactured the price of this the whole time, just like keeping silver down there below 50 or in the 50 zone with a lid on it. When silver breaks loose, you'll never forget it. You'll wish. That's one of the things you always did was just collect silver in your spare time, because I believe the silver has triple to quadruple potential ahead of it going into the coming years. Easy. So if you want to park a couple $1,000s in it, get you up closer to 10 here in that time frame. Digital ID goes live in the U.S. January 1st. We'll see it. Yeah, and they're going to say you can't fly, you can't do all this other crap, and it becomes a prison. They're locking it in from everywhere, and it's all happening on Trump's watch. So again, check out Uncommon, man. He's got good stuff. Silver, I'm telling you. And listen, what silver is the most conductive metal in the world? What? Like it's got properties that other metals, not even gold, has in terms of technology. Now that's key. That's key. Yeah, silver to 100 easy. When silver runs from here, man, I've been telling people to get into silver since like $15. And I make my own silver. I pour my own rounds, stamp them out. Tacos does too. It's a good hobby to get into in case of a crisis situation. People are going to come to you with all the silver, and you're going to need to melt it down to get the pure stuff and then get a weight and then give them a price and then do some bartering. That's how it's going to work. Because that's just how it works. You're not, if you're bringing in silver and platinum's good too, copper, all of them are going to go up. But I'm just saying silver is got, you say in colloidal silver is antibacterial. Yes, it has all those properties. All that's true. And the same with copper. Copper's almost magical in a sense. The Egyptians knew it. Why do you think people? It's to this day. Well, now they've switched it out. But it was when I was growing up. A lot of places there's copper water lines, and that there's a reason for that. The copper naturally kills bacteria when it flows through it. That's wild, man. Thank you for the spot price, Spiro. What purifies water? I got a machine that purifies water. We got a machine now that they got out of there that makes pure water, like the best water you could want out of thin air. You just got to add a pinch of mineral, and that's it. I got to get one, man, if I can. That's real deal survival stuff right there, because obviously water's key. And I've been through a drought in my region. I don't know what it's been in you guys' area, but throughout the year, it's been a drought here. Rain recently because we're getting into the wet season. But that November rain, and for me, it's the wet season, but it's still ain't a lot. I don't know. Weather weapons, man. Check this out. I told you hold on to your silver, right? Look, man, I can see guys going in it's already happened. They're going and getting all the money out of wishing wells and stuff like that. So any place that was known for people throwing a bunch of change in for a long time, some of those places, if they get a lot of traffic, they get cleaned out kind of normal. But other places, not so much. And those are like public fountains. The real wells, something like out of Goonies. There could be coins in there for from a long time. Places like that, man, are gonna really be. What? Did I set off a light bulb in your head? I could almost feel somebody like, oh crap, thinking like you knew somewhere. Well, the MTA is hunting $675 million worth of loose change in subway seat cushions. That is bananas. That's crazy. That much money. In the subway seat cushions. Crazy. Mostly all change. It falls out of people's pockets and gets lost in a crack. That is crazy. I was surprised they didn't design them seats, man, to have a little money catcher. At this point, I'm serious. Like these stupid people. They won't know the difference. Make it easier on them. They could just go empty the little box out after every run. But I mean, it's gonna happen. It happens all the time. People sit down. Oh, they're gonna do away with change. It's gonna be a thing of the past. With the digital ID comes CBDC talk and all the digital talk of the money. And they just stamped the last pennies. We're living in a crazy time, man. They just stamped the last pennies. Pennies are done. You can guarantee the price of them are going to go up. The collectors on them are going to go up. It's never to be made again. There's already coin and penny collections out there worth a lot. But these last ones that they printed, they put a special little emblem on them. And they went like straight to auction. They went straight to auction for like a ton of money, which is crazy. And where's that money go to? It's just the government just eat it all up. They're just printing money and making money off the money now. It's just, well, tick, tick, tick. A new study shows California is losing a taxpayer for every minute. That's crazy. So people are fleeing California. That is nuts. States like Florida, Texas, North Carolina attracting new residents due to lower taxes and higher standards of living. And I know this personally because I've got, like I said, I got family in friends and family in Florida, family in North Carolina. I can't think of any family in Texas right off the top of my head, but I know I got friends down Texas. Those places have seen an influx. They have. They always say that don't bring your garbage. If you're coming from New York, California, don't bring the common garbage with you. You know. So you got California, and look, this is watch these two articles. I'm gonna show to you because listen to what I'm gonna tell you, and this goes with the trend. I don't know if the next article's off or what, but it says this is in terms of people leaving. California, they're leaving every 1 minute and 44 seconds. In New York, they're leaving every 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Illinois, 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Massachusetts, 1 every 11 minutes and 38 seconds. In New Jersey, 1 every 14 minutes and 14 seconds. So there's people leaving those areas big time. So you can see New York right there, every 2 minutes, 23 seconds, someone is leaving New York. So with that said, what's the next one say? The cities that are attracting the most new residents. I will say these are off 2024 numbers, but wow. How is New York at the top of the list when they just showed they were second in terms of exodus? And look, California is like right behind it. Los Angeles. These are cities, not states, but then Houston seeing the most new residents, and then Chicago, San Antonio, Phoenix, Austin, and Philly. These are the cities Americans are moving to. New York, again, it doesn't match all the other polls. That's why I cover a lot of different stuff, a lot of different polls, a lot of different numbers. That way, something like just starts pinging like it ain't right, I like pick up on it. My subconscious is gonna pick up on it. Like if I'm missing it. So here's one that people are not gonna like. You might as well share this with everybody at Thanksgiving. Here's one for you. Load it up. Have it preloaded. Got one to talk about right here. Warn everybody. You gotta quit with the Campbell soup. Some people are gonna look at you like, what? You just had it. And nope, you can't. They've been exposed using bioengineered 3D printed meat. And the VP has been caught on hot mic saying that he won't eat it no more. It has no nutritional value, and they make it for poor people. That's who buys it. Oh, they're done. They're done. Problem is, cat's out of the bag and it's over. And if people want to continue to eat this garbage, that's on you, man. That's just a chicken. Who knows what they've done to anything else? When you break trust, especially in a food item, people are consuming. I've always questioned all the stuff. I always have. Anything in a can, like for real. Like I get it for survival wise, but like I don't know. Sometimes, man, if your guts is telling you, you're sitting there looking at it and like it looks like it's all right, but like something's like, sometimes you just gotta push it aside. They're pumping so much into our meats, injecting so much into our meats, it's insane. All the fillers that are in our meats, insane. I seen a clip the other day. It just blew me away. meat going in line. They're just sticking it with like 20 needles. Like, why? Like, why? Why is it just a straight meat going down? Why are you sticking it with any needles? They're doing it. It happens to all the meat. You know? Yeah, cancel Campbell's. Boycott Campbell's, man. Don't forget this. Like, we had a boycott list going back when, lockdowns, all these places that were pushing the agenda. You need to fire it back up. These places pushing fake meat. So Campbell's, man, done with you. No more, man. Soylent Green back to back right there in the chat. Yeah, you're right. You got that right. So I like to say, yeah, buy from a farm. Yeah, 3D meat in the supermarkets and everything else. Yeah, like we're very selective, man. We've got it down to a point where, like, well, and I've told you before, try to find someone that, if you can, raises cows and also slaughters them. Because you can have a good cow and take it to a crooked slaughterhouse, maybe the only one around. You think it's fine. You're not going to learn until it's the hard way that you're not getting your cow back. You're getting whatever back. And that's a scam. That's a rip off. That's dangerous. And what's the point in going through the whole process if that's the case? No, chicken noodles and all that stuff should still be good. Just make it like either homemade or make it in the all natural way. Like out here where I'm at in the country, you've got two kinds of birds. And for people out there that aren't country and just don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. People have been surviving like this for eons. But like you've got your birds that lay eggs. Okay. And then you've got your meat birds, is basically what they call them. Those are the meat birds. And meat birds are the ones that that's their Kentucky Fried Chicken. Straight up. And country people. I know listen, there's some wretched cats out there. That like I've come across some cats, man. That like no joke, look you stone cold in the eye, but like they'll eat possum up off the ground. I'm like, dog, I'll pass. Go vegetarian. I'll wait. I'm not eating that damn roadkill or no possum. They don't have to. Thing is, they don't have to. It's not like they're homeless and they have to. It's like they just look on where I'm at out in the mountains, man. I've had cats like straight up tell me, like, guys be working with cutting down trees and stuff. I was taking one guy back home and he's like, yeah, my sister Mitch used to get up every morning. She used to have me go out here and pop 2 squirrels in the head, drop her in there. I'm like, what did you just say? I can't even make it happy sad, but yeah, go kill 2 squirrels for her for breakfast every morning, and she'd skin them up right there, and that was breakfast every morning. I'm just like, man, like, like wow, hey, more proud to them. That's how they get by. But yeah, just crazy, man. Like the whole reason I went down is a squirrel ran by in the road, and like I hit it, and like, or almost hit it. Or I did hit it. And like, he acted like he would have hopped out and got it. I'm like, hell nah, bro. Like, you're going to hunt that thing on your own. Like, I have this thing also. Whenever I run over a fresh kill, I'm not kidding you. Everyone always comes at me like, you're an empath, you're this and you're that. Like, I have this thing with energy and spirit. And I run over a fresh kill on the road, it rips right through my body. Like it does every time. Like the shock of it, like my body, I feel the shock of the soul. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's been like that my whole life. It's weird, huh? Fresh kills, man. Every time I get that. It's can't shake it, man. All right, so moving on. Operation Swamp Sweep. Trump sends 250 federal agents into New Orleans for immigration enforcement. Incoming mayor plans to impede the feds. Oh, wow. We got all these little situations where it's always the mayor against the feds here in these little war zone type of settings. We got another one. They went into Memphis. They just went down in Charlotte, down into North Carolina. They spent 2-3 weeks there. And there, all the job sites went like silent. They went ghost because all the workers are illegals, which is garbage, man. They should be legals, man. They should be legals. It's just ridiculous. Anyhow, the illegals thought that they were going to juke them. They were coming out in mass and they were getting all the work done at night. They were doing their work at night and they got busted. They caught on to them. And they went out and they raided them all at night. But these guys were dumb enough to post it on social media and give it up. Kind of like bragging, like, aha, like we got them. And stupid move. You just showed them what you were doing, the whole world, and they busted all your asses. So, look, this always comes down to the same thing with me. It comes down to legality. You got to be legal to be here. If not, see you, partner. You could be a cool cat, even. Cool person, just here wanting to do the right thing, make money. I get it. But you got to be here legal, period. You got to be here legal, period. Again, none of you listening, none of us get a pass. You can't walk into Canada or Mexico or anywhere else and do what you want. And you get kicked out because you're not a citizen. You got to do it the legal way. So if I got to do it, you got to do it too, partner. Just rolling up in here illegally. There's a big difference there. No one even knows. That's how terrorists slip in and all this other crap. And thank you, John, for the coffees. You've got to have some kind of system of checks and balances here that works. All right. So, Queens. How you doing out there, Queens? We got anybody out there from the area? Maybe you could chime in. If so, on what's going on. Are you seeing this? They're saying violent illegal street takeovers rock Queens neighborhood, terrifying residents. And they're saying that you didn't see this before. Like, you didn't see this till this Mamdani just got elected. You didn't see none of this. Almost like flat out lawlessness. Creating like no-go zones almost immediately, where people won't even go into this area. Like what? Like, here we go. And that whole video was a fraud with Trump and Mamdani. I'll show you here in a minute. A federal judge has ended the National Guard in DC. And I just don't get it. Like, I think it was Zero Hedge or another account made a comment when they tweeted this out earlier today and said, I guess they don't like, I guess they like crime and they don't like peace. And I'm like, no. I'm like, this is ridiculous. The police state mentality. Like, first and foremost, it should be police officers doing the job. Period. Not the freaking military. This is everything we've ever warned you about. Forever. You never have. This is what Posse Comitatus was against, and all this from jump, which was to have military policing everyday citizens. And that's exactly what they're doing in these areas. This isn't just about migrants at this point. And they know it. They've blended it. All right. It's crime too. Right. So they're going after everyday Americans then for crime. And they've been doing so. That's garbage. I can understand if a riot broke loose and it got out of hand and you need some backup, you send them in. You call them up, send them in. That's how you would do it. But you don't have them on the streets 24/7 and normalize it. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. That's not how it's supposed to be. Troops with automatic weapons and everything march around. People just ignorant, man. Anyhow, the police have got to have some level of control in the area, or you just flat out suck. I just don't understand it. Some areas do. Some areas don't have this issue. That's why you don't see them being sent to all cities. So they need to learn from other cities that have a police force that can actually control the area. You never want to go leaning on the feds for any of the help, for any military help, for any security help, for any economic help, for any financial help, for any of it. It's all carrot on a stick. It's like universal basic income. They want you dependent on them. The Italian Interior Ministry say that foreign nationals, illegal migrants, linked to nearly half of the sexual violence arrests, despite only making up just 9% of the population. Tell them by the fruits, and the numbers don't lie there. They will not assimilate. And that's the warning here in America with these groups that don't want to respect, everyone's rights around here. Here's a big one. Trump is getting ready to designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization. And they should be, any of these groups. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in a group of peaceful Muslims praying somewhere that are truly peaceful than a group that is somewhere shooting guns, getting ready for war to go kill people, and to kill the infidel, to kill Christians. Like, yeah, that's a huge problem, and you can't let that creep in at all. You can sleep on this, you can sleep on that. You ain't sleeping on this, or you're done. Everyone's sitting around docile under this MAGA black magic spell. Not with this, you ain't. Not with this, you ain't. You watch. It's gonna. The bad thing is that people don't do nothing. That's the scary part. You don't have the major Christian militias rising up to stand their ground and do anything. Hardly anywhere. I've had one person report in with the militia here in all these months. It was Susie Q. And I followed those guys out of Pennsylvania. Much love to them. But it's just one group out of Pennsylvania. At least I can mention them, I guess, at this point. There's not much else going on out there. So, again, I don't agree with the guys out there taunting. I don't agree with these guys that are running up with a Bible or the Quran and smacking bacon on it in front of these guys that are just sitting there praying. That's ridiculous. That's childish. That's something the enemy would do to go rile things up. I wonder who sent you, or if you're just plain out ignorant. Again, there's a difference here, but the problem is it's blurred because it all falls under the whole Islam umbrella. There are peaceful people. I don't think that they should be. You shouldn't go doing. You shouldn't be giving them a reason. You shouldn't go firing them up and giving them a reason to hate. It's ridiculous. It's all childish to me. It's like high school to me. It's like if any other group of people were sitting over here praying just peacefully, I don't care who, any group, you don't even have to tell me what religion, if they're being peaceful praying, then let them be. Anyone that's going to run up and disrupt that, if they're over there chanting, down with the gringo, or down, with the American, kill them, blah, 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 and they're training and they got their guns up in the air and this and that. That's a different story here. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they're coming with any rhetoric that's hateful with violence. Okay. Again, who's the ones that have violence built into the religion? Huh? Huh, Talmud? Huh, Islam? Huh? Like, I don't get it. With chopping people's heads off and like throwing people off buildings and like it's all okay and like all this other stuff. Like, um, um, if you want to find out the hard way, Sharia, some of these people will. Texas just made a huge move to try to stop all this, but it may be too little too late. There's already mass mosques up. There's already 300 different Sharia courts within Texas. How are you going to get, like, I'm just telling you, man. I know brothers from all faiths, okay? And they've been good to me and been peaceful in this life. And that's my testament to it. Are there extremists? There can be from every branch, from any religion, from anything. They could call anyone an extremist. But what's really an extremist? You know? The definition could be different in different people's eyes. It could be someone that's killing Americans, or as an extremist, someone that just hates the U.S. government. There's a huge difference there. Someone's not out to attack Americans, but it's the government. Yeah, it's two total different targets. Even though the government is Americans, but no. All I'm saying is like we ain't out here ever preaching anything of like hate on no one. Just remember that. And look here with these tags that they're putting on people. I warned you. Right. And I know in this whole left right, the left is painted so nasty. You don't fall into the left right paradigm, but like obviously the left's so nasty and painted so nasty that it leaves most leaning right. Okay, so that's just how I see it out there. And I'm even told that by many, many people. But it's not that they buy it or they're Trump or any of that. It's just when that's said, it means the underlying way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Underground incoming. It's Steve, man. Coming through, brother. Much love. And as I was saying about this tag, 5 people in Texas become the first members to get a terrorism conviction in American history. First people in America to ever get a terrorism conviction in American history. Okay, so it begins. And thank you, Steve, so much for the memberships. Everybody got them. Welcome to the underground. Texas has always been the heart and the belly of the country. And if you're a military out there, anyone wanting to topple us, you take down Texas, the country's screwed. This is setup. This is setup. This is setup. The State Department sounds the alarm. Mass migration is an existential threat to Western civilization. Really? Really? Like we weren't just sitting here talking about all this. Yeah, well, it's pretty obvious at this point. It's because they've been sent for chaos. And, we know who sent them. Has anybody got the money to hop on boats, go across the ocean, pull? No. Billionaires are funding this. And we know who's doing this. And they're sitting in their mansions tonight here in the United States free, like George Soros, even after Donald Trump says, I think we got Rico on him. You think you got Rico on him. Like, he should have been arrested. Period. Funny, they say that Alex Soros seems to be on the run right now and hiding. And that when they did this whole thing on Twitter that lets you know where you're at, where you're posting from in the world, it looks like he's hiding in Niger. Niger has no extradition with the United States. Ken Zoe, always appreciate it. Hey, right back at you. You can find Mark Bailey caught up on the wires, harness, PBS. Oh, yes. Hey, Barnes. Yes. And I'm going to get into that more. I got that lined up here. Here we go. On to the next. Let's get in. Let's just start tearing into the politics. Where we at? Top of the hour. Perfect timing. Let's keep it pushing. Get a drink. Bust open fresh water. Judge dismisses the cases against James Comey and against Comey and the Titty of James. What a name. Am I saying that right? Or is it Letitia? It's not Letitia, it's Letitia, right? That sounds so weird saying it. So a federal judge dismissed their case without prejudice because of Lindsay Halligan's unlawful appointment. So what'd I tell you? I told you. You just watch. Everyone got all up in arms. Oh, this is it. This is it. MAGA. They're going down. Draining the swamp like garbage. We're still waiting on Hillary for president. Ain't you learned? Or do you gotta get burnt? Yeah, you're getting burnt. For all you that were cheerleading over there, put your pom-poms down. Put them away. It's embarrassing. Okay? Because these guys ain't put away till they're put away. And they got to be put away. Ain't you see with P. Diddy? You could have a lifetime of charges and only throw 4 on you. And he's probably going to catch a pardon. And getting all this trouble in the mix and still get away with it? Yeah. Like Bolton, probably same thing's going to happen to him. And look, this is against both. This is not just one. This is 2 people, James and Comey. This is 2 huge cases. Just pitched them. Yeah. So what good does it do to have Trump in there when the whole freaking government is rigged with people that you never have enough time in any administration to replace? Huh? Riddle me that. Huh? Even if you were in there for like 3 terms, it's like it's going to be like an Obama or Clinton era judge. It's like, dude, it's ridiculous then. Like, they're stacking the deck. It's ridiculous. I don't know. So Comey goes off because of this. And what do you think he's going to do? What do you think the guy's going to do? He's going to rub it in Trump's face big time here because they thought they had him. And he needs to here prove that they don't.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking. But I was also inspired by the example of the career people who refused to be part of this travesty. It cost some of them their jobs, which is painful, but it preserved their integrity, which is beyond price. And I know they will serve again. I was very lucky that some of the best lawyers in America stepped forward to represent me. I hope they serve as an example to more and more lawyers, especially at some of the big firms, to participate in protecting our liberty, protecting the rule of law. And my family and friends were always with me, and luckily for me, include some of those great lawyers. This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies. I don't care what your politics are, you have to see that as fundamentally un-American and a threat to the rule of law that keeps all of us free. I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude is going to be the same. I'm innocent, I am not afraid, and I believe in an independent federal judiciary, the gift from our founders that protects us from a would-be tyrant. When I was a kid, my parents would wake us up for school every morning by snapping open the shades and saying, "Time to rise and shine and show the world what you're made of." Well, it's that time, America. It's time to stand up and show the fools who would frighten us, who would divide us, that we're made of stronger stuff, that we believe in the rule of law, that we believe in the importance of doing things by the law. So stand tall, shine, and keep the faith. I'm grateful.
So, there you go. That's what a deep state goon
It's crazy.
looks like. That's what a deep state goon. Man, this place is so full of fakes and snakes. It ain't even funny. They've got so many characters set up to play every position. I'm not joking you. Like, the whole thing's rigged for real. They're controlling the guy at first base, the guy at second base, third base. You betcha, shortstop, pitcher, catcher, the umps. The whole thing's rigged, man. Do you understand? Like the whole thing, they're all Masons. Like straight up. They're all in on it. These shills, these gatekeepers are the exact same way. There's no way in this game. Spiro can attest to this. Tacos, anybody else out there that's been in this, fighting the fight with the channel, putting out information, like you only get so far independently. And like once you pop up on the radar, you hit a brick wall. Like with me, I've been around for so long, like they got me in what I call the dungeon and censorship. That's what happens to a real truther. I don't get shared by nobody. Okay, nobody. Just a handful of you guys when I go live, handful any other time, couple dozen. Tacos is showing up the other day. He's like, I just don't get it. When he was talking, he says, like, I look at your posts and like, I don't understand like the engagement and stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm like hitting. Like most of the time people show up and they're like, oh, I ain't seen you in years. Where you been, Tabu? Like, I've been here every day. This just tells me none of you see me. And I go on and on about that. So that's the life of a real truther. Okay. So when you see someone get blasted in the feed every single day, like Candace Owens, get out of here. Pushing a narrative, pushing all this whatever. She's connected, paid off, right by the top billionaires. I don't believe none of it. Look, and she's pushing the stuff now that, you know, they want to assassinate her and this and that. And it's just like, look, if they wanted you, you done been had, is the way I see it. If they really wanted you, gone. You are doing your job. This is just another headline she's pushing out there. That's garbage. When they really want you, like it's just, it would have been done. Like they would have seen you as, if you were really an issue, they would have seen this a long time ago. But she's all part of the Charlie Kirk event. She is every bit of the offshoot of it. She is the control of everything that has to do with it on the back end. From here on, she guides the ship more so than what these goons on the Charlie Kirk show even do. These guys that hijacked it and took it over, Ben Shapiro. Like, she pushes the narratives of all these things. She does. Yeah. With her connections to Oracle. Yeah. You ain't fooling nobody, Candace. Out here with all this money, like all the rest of these shills. Look, that ain't the life of a real truther. There ain't no big money in it. Never has been. So y'all out here millionaires? Are you kidding me? Millionaires? And like garbage. You're millionaires and you're blasted in the feed every day. All the time. That is the exact opposite of where we sit. We're in the dungeon. Yeah, broke. Do y'all see? Do you see the difference clearly now? Whenever you see these people getting pumped and pushed out there, it's for a reason. They create them. I don't care who it is. You only get so far, and again, they silence you. She's a major one, though, that I see is pushing a lot with, and several of them are. Like, they're all on that Turning Point USA train at this point. I seen Megyn Kelly was the same thing. She was on stage. She's going to the event. She's another big one. She's even mentioned running for president. Megyn Kelly. Who knows who's going to throw their name in the hat for running for president? Thank you, Meat Puppet. Thank you. All right, well, you guys remember Mom Donnie met with Trump and everything was supposed to have been all good, and they shook hands and Trump acted like he liked him in all this. Well,
NYPD would be the ones to do so.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
so you do.
And that's something that I've said in the past. I say it today. And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a despot. Do you still believe President Trump is a threat to the democracy?
Everything that I've said in the past, I continue to believe. And that's the thing that I think is important in our politics, is that we don't shy away from where we have disagreements, but we understand what it is that brings us to that table. Because I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand. I'm coming in there to deliver for New Yorkers. And a few weeks ago, I was asked by a reporter 3 words to describe myself. I said, New York City. And that's what animated that conversation. How do we deliver for the people of New York City?
I think that some of your supporters would be curious to know. You say you stand by your past statements.
he's so fake. He's so fake. The stupid little fake smile after everything he says. It's all so manufactured. This dude's manufactured. 100%. Like all politicians that are controlled. But this dude, you talk about a puppet with an agenda. I mean, he's no different than the AOCs and all this other stuff, but he's even worse in my opinion at this point. Like, he's gonna say all this, and Trump's not gonna have a problem with it. Like, this has got to be the phrase of the century. This is a setup. It's all set up. Again, Trump and him just watched him walk in, take over his beloved New York City. Liked him. You seen him in the conference right up here. He's all buddy with you. Like,
clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's
see?
Easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Data boy.
Clarify your...
Data boy. Data boy. Data boy. Data boy. I don't miss these little things. You're getting played. You're getting played. It's all by design. And I don't know what Steve Bannon's over here running his mouth about. I mean, he's got some points, of course, but hey, it's your Trump that doesn't have a problem with him, doesn't care. How come Trump's not saying nothing you're saying? He's over there giving him the pat data boy. He's giving data boys. Bannon.
I got a strong recommendation to Stephen Miller and Homan and the team. Why don't we, the mother of all sanctuary cities is New York City. Mondami's elected with, I don't know, 60% of votes of foreign nationals. And I don't know if you saw Tucker with Nikki Haley's son, but everything I disagree with Nikki Haley on her neoliberal neocon policies, I will say this. She's a pretty damn good mother because that son is pretty impressive. And he's saying, hey, people come to the country and or naturalized shouldn't hold political office. Kaboom. So the Ugandan Marxist jihadist. And look, President Trump's got his own way of rolling. You know that. He's going to zig and zag. He's got a master plan. He's playing 5-dimension chess. I got all that. But it doesn't take the fact away that Mandami, with all his charm, and look, remember, he did the charm and the TikToks and going through the thing. We're the first guys to talk about this because Alex DeGrasse is going to come up in a moment. And Alex DeGrasse is the guy, the young superstar strategist, gave me a heads up on this guy back in February when he was polling at like 2%. Because of the Working Family Party and the DSA, the combination of that, which has a massive ground game. And I think they announced the other day they had over 100,000 people canvass for him.
Big Cali.
But I believe his vote was 60%, foreign naturalized citizens, quote unquote. Like he's naturalized. I still make the point, and I think it's fairly straightforward to prove that he lied on his naturalizations paper. He's actually not a citizen, and he's not eligible to be the mayor of New York. And I would certainly hope that the administration, because we got to have, it's got to be fair. It's got to be whatever, if somebody comes in here and lies on naturalization papers, they got to leave. They got to turf them out.
I agree.
And he lied about being a jihadist and associate with jihadist entities. In fact, Governor Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood in CARE, and for as weak as Abbott's been on everything, and I realize this took pushing of the Patriot Mobile team and particularly Colonel Self, the congressman down there, and others. Abbott did do it. He signed it. I would like to, if the administration signed and we pushed a designation of the Muslim Brothers as a terrorist organization, I don't think it'd be too long before Mandami was shown the door, was put in a plane and sent back to Uganda. Yes, I'm saying it. I think that there's been dark money. There's been money coming through his parents, particularly his mother, and other sources. And there's a number of people that have done this investigation that you can show it. But,
well, if he's got all that, if they've got all this, don't you think, wouldn't Trump want to know that and all this other stuff? I don't know, man. It's like two different worlds. He's over here talking all the stuff, and then Trump's over there, attaboy. This is such a game. I don't know, man. I don't trust half these characters. But I will listen to the information flowing. And you got to use discernment at all times. Now, Trump says he still plans to send National Guard to New York City if they need it. He said, we talked about that. So he already talked and discussed this all with Mamdani. And obviously it was a great, they were laughing, smiling, that attaboy, all that. So it's going to be some huge war and clash then from here. Like, this is so much garbage and crap. Like, if he's got to send them, then there's going to be clashes.
New York City. Do you still plan to deploy the National Guard to New York City?
If they need it. Right now, other places need it more, but if they need it, we had a very good meeting yesterday. We talked about that. But if they need it, I would do it. Mr. President, are you willing to?
So we'll see. As I said, it looks like New Orleans right now is the current city they're targeting. Bill Clinton reveals which Democrat he thinks can win the White House in 2028. And it is. This picture is hanging on the wall when you walk in the door at Epstein Island. And you don't think Bill Clinton doesn't have something major to do with all this, with his red slippers on? Come on, all this. It's all a cult. That is a cult. In your face as it ever gets. Okay, and a cult gets nasty. Well, here he is. The Joker himself. The Joker himself, Newsom, who's got the bloodline. he's going to be the run off the other side, man. And if they want to pull another Biden crap and give you the other side just cause, this is going to be the man probably. With like an AOC by his side or something crazy. Yeah, they'll powerhouse him up with somebody else. And, you know, I don't know. At least we got an idea who they're going to try to run. We're way far out. Who knows if there even be another election. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, they've been called in to give depositions in terms of Epstein and everything else, and they have rejected multiple times. They pushed it back. They failed to come in. James Comer now threatening contempt and contempt proceedings like going on with this against the Clintons if they continue to ignore the Epstein subpoenas. Because I was like, what are they going to do? Just keep ignoring it? Who's going to hold them accountable? Well, this would be interesting. This would be the first and the closest any of them's been to catching charges yet. And it ain't Trump. It's out of Trump's hands. This comes from out of Congress and from Comer's position, because they've been called in by Congress to give a deposition, and they've been stonewalling on it. I mean, at this point, given his status, Bill Clinton's not can go into great hiding for the rest. He can't do that. He's a living former president, so there's going to be eyes on him, Secret Service details around him for all of his days. He's not looking good. I don't know if this guy's got much longer. If I was to guess, I'd say Hillary has more time on the clock than him, just by the looks and the shape of him. But he ain't looking good, man. Bill is not looking good. He looks like he's just barely hanging in there, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if, they try to run from this thing until, it's just one Hillary and you see this whole thing, this entire thing comes back on this man. I just showed you. He is on the freaking wall. As soon as you walk in the door at Epstein Island, if there was ever a number one suspect, it's this man that was doing gross, improper sexual stuff in the White House with some whore, cheating on his wife and everything else. Everybody remember that? Forget? Yeah, that Bill Clinton on the wall. Get out of here. Like, it's dodging, huh? Like, just call up the Secret Service agents that are protecting him and working. Trump, you're in charge of them. You're the boss. Right? Ultimately, in the end, call up and say, hey, arrest him right now. Put him in cuffs. If you really wanted somebody that bad, that's all you would have to do. Because the Secret Service turn on you as being the commander-in-chief and deny your orders and all this, or whoever, to arrest him, then they're done. They're done for going against your orders instantly. So, see, that ain't going to happen. They'd have to arrest him. But Trump won't do it. Just like he had his chance to arrest Hillary. And he said, I'm not going to do it. People were like, why? You ran the entire election on Hillary for president. And it's like, oh, it's the wife of a former president, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not going to do it. Just flat out, arrogantly and blatantly. It's like, dude, you ran an entire election on a lie and you knew it? You know how many t-shirts, how many buttons, how many stickers of Hillary for president eyewitness gets sold during the election cycle? It got sold more than any other slogan, more than any other thing ever. There are freaking airplanes flying around Cleveland, RNC, it's a Hillary for president, all the stuff, man, like everything you could think of. I witnessed it all, man. And like, it's all for nothing. All for nothing. It's a clown show. When you get to this level, let's look at this. MTG. She's leaving, abandoning her house seat. She's been attacked so much. Really, I know a politician's a politician, but this isn't a good sign. When Trump can bully and bulldog and threaten some of the only people that were standing up against the pedos, not good. Not good. That's what set them apart here. But everything's trappy. They're all millionaires. You know, even her. Yeah, they're all millionaires, man. So it's like, yeah, what's this one say? MTG running for president? Ah, funny how some of these goons slide from one position into another, and there's a lot of positioning that always happens. You heard it right here. Running for president. Now, even if she doesn't go for the president herself, I could see it. They need other candidates from the club to jump up in the race and then ultimately bow down to like JD Vance or whatever. Like, there has to be some kind of challengers, you know, and it's all scripted. So I give her props for standing up for some things, but I still don't, like I said, I don't trust none of these politicians. Because huge things should be happening. Huge arrests should be happening to their colleagues, and it never happens. Never, ever. And now we get to this whole thing of Senator Mark Kelly refusing orders, or telling others out there. If you missed it, there was 4 different people that came out, and they were basically saying you need to refuse orders that are illegal. Trump's illegal orders. Well, now Trump's trying to come after him.
The White House is supportive of the Department of War's investigation into Senator Mark Kelly. And I think what Senator Mark Kelly was actually trying to do was intimidate the 1.3 million active duty service members who are currently serving in our United States Armed Forces with that video that he and his Democrat colleagues put out. Senator Mark Kelly well knows the rules of the military and the respect that one must have for the chain of command, and that all lawful orders are presumed to be legal by our service members. You can't have a functioning military if there is disorder and chaos within the ranks, and that's what these Democrat members were encouraging. It's very clear, and not a single one of them, since they've been pressed by the media, and I'll give you guys credit for that, can point to a single illegal order that this administration has given down, because it does not exist. They knew what they were doing in this video, and Senator Mark Kelly and all of them should be held accountable for that.
Dude, they might find themselves smoked here. Straight up. Like, straight up. She just said it. Don't always even hardly agree with anything they're saying here, but like in this instance, like, I think that under a certain stance, under free speech, right? And you got to watch these things. Are trappy, man. They could be being set up just for that, to attack something like that. It goes to court. Whatever the ruling is going to affect this or that. I could see him going after him and hanging him out to dry with this one. It's very interesting. For congressional, waiting until January. Okay, Kev, boy, I see. I think they got him here, though, on some things. You know, every person's different. There was 4 different people here, and it's all about your wording, how adamant you were on, like, basically trying to get people in trouble or have them break the law. She had points, though. A military cannot work in chaos. There's an order of command for the guys that run the military. They know this. And I don't know. They're making such a big deal out of it. I don't see how They don't go. Look, they're laying it out right there. Uniform Code of Military Justice 10 USC 668 and other applicable regulations. It goes on and on. I could see Mark Kelly. They're naming him like in this article above all the other names. So it looks like the target's on him with this group first. And this is crazy. Trump says Hegseth using military courts, tribunals, to investigate Democrats who called the military, everyone I was just telling you about.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlatte.
There's all these people that he's talking about going after. I ain't playing this kill me crap. All right, so, all right, go jump out of that and switch it up here a little bit. The police in Brazil arrest Bolsonaro, which is crazy. They just rolled in and they swooped in and they got him because they feared that he was going to try to run or something. And I don't know. They got him and they're going to lock him down. And this is interesting. This shows Israel's superiority over anyone else or anything else out there, especially their control over the U.S. military, knowing that all these different countries are getting equipment from the U.S. are getting the same equipment, right? Well, Netanyahu is saying Rubio has assured him that Saudi Arabia will not receive F-35s on par with Israel, meaning they're not going to get any of all the ones with all the gadgets, all the bells and whistles. Let's just put it that way. Like you're going to get one, but it's not going to have like all the big time technologies. And I tell you how I could just instantly see how the United States is going to bypass, appease both. Is they'll go ahead and they'll ship Saudi Arabia just the regular model, and they'll send Israel the fully equipped, jacked up model, and Israel feel good about it in this net. But then when they turn around and they go back behind the curtain to Saudi Arabia, they talk to them. Saudi Arabia is like, well, what gives there? Be like, well, the contract never said that we couldn't later sell you, all the bells and whistles. So all you got to do is now buy the bells and whistles and add them on yourself afterwards, like aftermarket, and you can compete. Do you see? It's crazy. Here, all the United States is doing is they're out here selling weapons again. It's a racket. It's all a racket. But do you see? You see how they would play them? And these guys have really no say or anything else. We can do buy weapons off of Russia. That's your only other option. There's two big players out here that have been making weapons this whole time. China kind of hopping in the mix, but like predominantly in terms of weapon systems, it's been Russia and the United States. So I just thought that was funny. The guy that, like, in a threat, gave Trump a golden pager after, they blew everybody's heads off or blew everybody up with pagers. And then at that meeting here this year, held up the phone, like, see that phone? See that phone right there? You're holding a little piece of Israel right there. And that was a warning to everybody. You got an iPhone, and that's Chinese made. And these dudes are in the electronics, like, they're embedded everywhere, I'm telling you. And then they're in control of everything Samsung. Israel's got backdoors into everything Samsung, if you don't know. There's been a lot of talk here in the past couple weeks. Not surprising. Backdoor overrides. You can't trust nothing. So, when it comes to Israel, the ceasefire broken with Hamas. Hamas threatening that it's over. Because Israel's striking them. And when you see the footage, they're basically like the Gaza's rubble. And they're dropping bombs on the rubble. It's insane, man. Like people barely alive in like rubble. They're bombing still. Like, so Israel fires it back up. They don't care. They also say they assassinated a founding member of Hezbollah in a fresh Beirut strike. So they're back to striking anywhere. Now, Beirut in Lebanon. And remember, they said they act like they want to take over all of Lebanon. They're leveling anything and everything that they want, man. It's insane. There's no other country on a warpath like this. Footage shows a possible drone strike on a major power station near Moscow. So Moscow possibly going to be going in the dark here if they keep this up. Like Zelensky in Ukraine, they won't back down and they won't quit. And like they're obliterated. Like if Russia really wanted to, they could press the issue right now and they could, I'm telling you, man, they could wipe them off the face of the map. They could. They've already put Kiev in the dark and allowed them to recover. Like they didn't have to do that. They could literally wipe them out in any time. And like we're getting so close to that. Like if peace doesn't pop up at some point, you've got all this talk here of Rubio confirming this 20-point peace plan authored by the United States. Everyone's going to meet in Geneva. We'll see. We'll see. Right. I get sick of reporting on this crap. On the other side, you've got a French general saying we must be ready to lose our children in a war with Russia. It's like, dude, you fools. Germany, France, you fools. It's all your leadership ever says is you got to go to war with Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia. You're idiots. You depend on Russia for your heat so you can get through the winters. Like, you know, all this other stuff. Like, it's a sham. Just like we've got Israel sending weapons to Iran. Yes, we have. It's happened through these same groups, Hamas and all these others, that to people's surprise, they're like, what? Israel used to or was caught funding them? And this, yeah, world's a stage. Puppet show. Same with all the groups that's ever come out there, your ISIS's, Al Qaeda's, all of it. All part of the stage. Boko Haram's. So NATO blames Russia for a mystery drone incursion. So all of a sudden, you know, we had it going on here, and Trump came out finally and said, oh yeah, that was us. But what didn't explain nothing else. He's like, oh, we'll update more later. You know, kind of like they said they were going to Fort Knox with the cameras and it never happened. Like they never updated. So we never got no new information. But all of a sudden, these mystery drones buzzing other places. It's like, okay, well then, like Russia's got the same tech, obviously. And they're checking them. Like this is like the same stuff. It's drones that can outrun all their stuff. They can't jam them. They can't take them out of the sky normally like a normal drone. It's a different technology. Just like what we've seen here. So, regardless, they're there. Whoever's controlling them. And it looks like the U.S. is launching a new phase to the Venezuela operations. It's about to go down. Like, literally, it's about to go down. Dropped a video earlier on this because it's there. Been waiting to get the signal. The signal largely is when they shut down the airspace and put up NOTAMs. And then you see all the major airlines start to cancel flights. And all that's happened. They're talking like there's NOTAMs. They expect some things to happen like here anytime. And it was all hinging on Maduro speaking to Trump tonight. If he didn't absolutely kiss Trump's ass and say yes to every single thing that Trump wanted, they're going to get hit. This is where it sits at. They've like Maduro's willing to leave. He's willing to flee, work out a deal, all this other stuff without a war. He just doesn't want his country being bombed. Okay? So he's saying he fears for his life. They've also designated the Cartel de la Sol as a foreign terrorist organization. He says there's no such thing, but there is. And he's like the head of it. And he's trying to work out a deal for his life right now. I'm telling you. But if he doesn't accept their terms, pretty much by and large, it's over. Okay, look at the size of this NOTAM. Look at the size of this NOTAM. All right, and look at all of these strike positions. These are all known targets. Okay, and you've got subs sitting out here, destroyers. You got Poseidons flying all over the place. Earlier, there was a B-52 bomber that came down and it buzzed right next to Caracas, right as they were pressuring Maduro for these phone calls. I haven't seen an update yet. Well, since we've been live, I haven't seen one on how that conversation went. But look, man, they were eyeballing Tuesday as a major action day. Because if he agrees to everything they say, that means that he's going to tell his military to stand down. And that will mean he accepts whoever they say to step in as the leader in the meantime, and that they will hold a fair election and all that crap after that. Right? That's going to be part of the whole thing. He's going to have to dip out to another country. And he'd be a fool to run to Colombia, because Colombia is next. Colombia's going to get it, and it's rather obvious. Trump said that the number one supplier of cocaine in the world is Colombia. And this whole thing is a narco operation. That's the theme of it. You're telling me you're down here in the Caribbean pulling off a narco operation and you're not targeting Colombia? Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, there's agents in there right now setting up just like they have been in Venezuela and in Mexico. And this is going to be huge. This is a huge war front. We've never seen this in our lifetime. And it hasn't even begun. Again, it hasn't even begun. So these NOTAMs are major. The fact that major airlines have canceled flights over the whole area, huge warning sign. U.S. covert ops believed to be imminent. Like any time they're going to strike. So I'll have more updates on that. I got a funny feeling like tomorrow or the day after for sure you're going to see updates of like it's on. It's some updates on China here. We've got 2 Chinese nationals arrested. And 2 Americans charged with smuggling NVIDIA chips to China. Now, man, this year we have watched, I've reported on China smuggling everything you could think of in and out. Okay? They got caught doing this. They've got caught stealing, downloading all of the material inside of Tesla and then going back to China and, uploading it. Same kind of crap. This is what they do. It's what they're trained to do. China's different than most other countries. Like almost every Chinese person is like, when they're born, like you have an allegiance to the country, like as a spy, like militarily. It's set up different. Like America ain't built that way. You ain't told that. You ain't forced. No. It's different. So when you've got all these Chinese in here, it's different than having a bunch of whoever. The Chinese they're made different there. They're trained different, literally, to be spies. And you can't trust that. How can you? How can you? When every single person by oath takes an oath to the dragon. It's the way it is. So they've been caught also smuggling with the biological material here recently. Look, man, China's everywhere. They're embedded in everything. I keep reporting on this. And look here, Japan deploys missiles near Taiwan. And China goes off about these right-wing forces. Whatever, they're getting pissed. They're pissed off that China's been given missiles to begin with, because back when we bombed Japan at the end of the last war, they had to agree to not have or make or try to utilize any kind of offensive weaponry, especially nuclear weapons or anything crazy. It was part of the deal. So they did. Well, here recently, in recent years, Japan's shown that they're like a huge ally with the United States. And they're our ally. It's just that simple. They're going to do whatever the West needs done. So they have stepped up to China. They've stepped up boldly to face them right there in the region. So they're going to be like one of the main backups behind Taiwan and like launching points in the vicinity, in the Asian vicinity. So, Japan's huge. And like, if you get North Korea in the mix and South Korea and all this stuff, and all the World War III talk, it becomes real. And around Taiwan, it's really major. It's really huge, because with China, it could really go down. And if it goes down, there's no way in the world that China does not support putting the lights out in America. There's no way. Or a huge event. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. It would be a dream come true for them in a sense, because it would move them to be the top dogs on the planet. While we're sitting over here crippled, they would be the top dogs. And if no one could prove who did it during the moment, China's going to sit there like with no blowback. But someone's going to catch a licking. Somewhere there has to be a return strike for the history books. There has to be. There's plenty of warships and subs out there that won't be a part of a lights out situation. They're going to be out in the ocean lurking already, and they're going to be free to let them rip and nuke China, hit China. This is why they want the bases also in Afghanistan back, because they're in close proximity to China and where China makes their nuclear stuff. So all this stuff, the world's a stage. And the U.S. Navy is apparently racing to recover a crashed jet and a helicopter from the South China Sea. Now, if this is the ones that happened a couple weeks ago, I don't see how that's racing. Like, racing's getting in there tonight, like within a 48-hour window. That's racing. And to do this with just a normal jet and helicopter is weird. It makes me wonder if that's what's really going on here. Like, what is it that's in the water? What went down for real? Like, we'll never know. For some reason, there's huge concern over what any other time it would never have been mentioned again. They're like, oh, a jet and a helicopter went into the ocean. They're gone. The only time you go through this much trouble to retrieve them is if they're holding a key technology that you don't want the adversary to know about. Now, what could that be? I mean, well, they say he knows Beijing has never had access to a crashed F/A-18. Recovering one would help China refine its carrier base. So they're basically saying it's just going to help them refine, back engineering, all this stuff. But look, anything happens here, top of my list, China is the one's going to catch the wrath on all this. Get over here to chat, check in with the chat, and give some final thoughts here for the show. The black cube, yeah, and the connection to Saturn. I've got something for you here. I got something for you right here. Check this out. Did any of you guys get to see? Did you guys get to see? And I can't play it because of copyright. But did you get to see the disclosure? It's important. If you didn't, you should go get it. Someone sent me, I think D White, much love. Thank you, brother. He sent me a link and it was like free. And I watched it. And it's worth the watch. I thought it would. I'm always hoping for but I see what they're doing now. I see what they're doing. These have been breadcrumbs the whole time. And it blows my mind that, Greer was nowhere in the video, not mentioned one time when he was the supposed man behind putting all, getting all this stuff all these years. It was him and death threats, and he was nowhere to be seen, heard of, mentioned, nothing when this whole thing came out. He's not in the clip, nothing. Okay, Kev Bar, so you see. So for those of you that's seen it, then you already know these things. Okay, so I'm going to pluck out here. I'm going to pluck out the key things, the key takeaways from this, okay? I'm not trying to spoil anything. If you haven't seen it still, it's not going to spoil. You need to see the whole thing. You need to hear every little comment. You need to see the look on these guys' faces when they look in the camera and they say, look, I've seen these craft and I've seen the aliens. I've seen the alien life. Like something is to be said and to be witnessed about a guy that makes that statement that's really done it and seen an entity, and you can see it in his body language and his posture, and you just know that he's telling the truth, and that all this is the truth. It all resonates as the truth. I'll be honest, because it is the truth, because it's that time. That's how I know it's that time, just off the spidey senses. So this is, I'm gonna lay out a couple things here. I'm gonna tell you the big thing that's about to happen first. And just get it out the way. They said multiple times, the guy said it in an interview, and I called it out, but then TMZ came out and broke the whole story on what I'm telling you right now, and then other outlets, and some were saying that it was fake news, but others were like, no, it's not. It's real. It's 100% real. 1,000% real. They are waiting on the Trump administration to prepare how they want to make this announcement. They, after this video drop, the next step is to do just that, to take it to the president and have the president, which he's fully aware of all this, and to have him make the statement to the world that there is other life, that it's here. Okay? I want you to know that in this disclosure, they pull no punches. They are here. Okay? They are here. They're here. And we've known this, but they're out of sight, out of mind. And for most people, without seeing something, it's hard for them to believe anything when they've been brainwashed with whatever. But they're here, and they're underground, and they are in the ocean, and they are all over on the ocean bottoms. And we need to go hunt them. Why not? Someone needs to be legendary in this life. And go do something here. Even if you disappear in a Bermuda Triangle attempting, then maybe you'll know why people disappear. Some of these places, no doubt, they're cities. We've seen them from the satellite footage, and they've blurred out a ton of it. They try to blur it out. They screwed up a few years ago when they first started putting out some real high definition satellite imaging of the ocean floor. And it was still doctored. It was still, they go through and they put they'll make it look like something totally different. They airbrush it out. All right. And they do this all over the place. Well, I don't know what was causing it or why, but there's certain striation lines that like they messed up. They didn't do their job, and like it gave away that the structures there. You clearly see the structures in these spots they forgot to airbrush, and I'm talking massive, crazy looking structures. And I know I've been doing this for years. I've got spots, dude, on the ocean floor. I know where they're at all around this planet, dude. And it deserves. Yeah, you don't want a big boat. I don't know. It's the risk, man. If you get out in some area where they don't want you, you know, they're gonna sick their guns on you, regardless. But somebody's got to try something. It's even worth flying drones out off the boat out here and like using technology to like peer down. It's like you ain't got to be all the way up in subspace like a satellite. You'd be even closer. So to me, you would get with the drone way better imaging right there, way closer. How could you not? How could you not? So, there's a lot to be discovered not doing this. So, with all this said, they're here. Okay, the reptilian entities also, the Nordics and the Greys. There's several different species. Eric Davis was the guy's name. He came out and he said flat out, there's several different species here. They're here. And this is the crazy thing. Like when I'm telling you what I'm saying right now, it's like, this is like historical. This is like crazy. Like this is that we're at this point. They did it through this video. And they say the next step is basically that Trump tells the world. Like not everybody's going to see that video. And they knew this. Like all this has been orchestrated in steps. And they told us this in the beginning. That this whole year was going to be about it. But this year's come and gone. Like here we are. And going into 2026, all eyes on Trump coming out with a massive announcement. Basically from here on out. It could be any time. Anytime you see that Trump's set to make a huge special announcement like Earthshatter or anything like that, dude, you can bet. Especially when there's mass emphasis on it being like the biggest, like one of the biggest of all time. The whole world would tune in. Okay? And who else? Trump. Like more people would witness this than like the Super Bowl or anything like that. That's what you're talking about. That's disclosure. That is the event. That is it. That is it. Do you understand? Are we clear here? Do you see where we're at? We are on the preface of this. Like we are at the step right before. There are no other steps after this. It's him doing this. Does everybody understand this? The announcement. The trumpet. Dude, this is bad. But this is it. This is the show. This is where it begins. What timing, huh? Three Eye Atlas creeping out there as well. All right, and check it out. Check it out. All right. Try not to pay attention to time here in this free flow. Let this come out right here. All right. You want to know how they're doing this? You want to know how they're doing this? All right, listen up. Listen up. Everyone stays tuned. Stays tuned in. Thank you, Mary, for the coffees. Everyone stays in there, hangs in there to the end, gets these goods. This is priceless. You want to understand how everything's happening here. All right. So I'm just gonna break it down pretty much how they broke it down in this video. And I've also kind of already known this just because of all my years of research. I've known this. But this just clarifies it. This is like this hammers it home. It's one thing for me to ever say one thing. Everyone can say, oh, it's a conspiracy. But no, when all the hard evidence comes out, again, here we are right. Kev Bar, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words, super chat, and the love, brother. Can't wait to see you again, man. I think about you often. I do. Just so you know. You pop up in my mind for whatever reason. So listen. Got your attention. This is the key. These devices, these aircraft, they are creating a bubble around them. Okay? They are separating themselves gravitationally, magnetically from space-time. And they are making themselves stay trapped in this bubble, this sphere around them. And this is the crazy part. When you're in this bubble, you can do pretty much anything. Atomized material objects in the 3D realm are not affected. You can, in this bubble, in turn, go right through the water at thousands of miles an hour and right back up into the air, and in the water not even splash. Why? Because none of it can affect you. You're in a different space-time. Okay? And how you move the bubble is this acceleration of the gravitics and the propulsion to swing you. Now, how you do that is it's mercury based, and it's thrown quickly, usually off of a 3-engine system. This was shown by Lazar off of GE motors that were being used in the man-made UFOs. So the mercury is, heated and cooled to such a degree. When the mercury starts to rotate, it creates this. It helps to create the aura of this bubble, this field around it as well. Also, it's used in shifting the propulsion around of the craft. Now, imagine being able to sit down in a seat in it and control it by thought. We're not too far away from that right now. They enter it. I mean, it's like Flight of the Navigator. Do you remember that old movie? Do you remember it? Go look it up if you've never seen Flight of the Navigator. That's what you're talking about. They told you right. They showed you right there. That old school was a kid that found this like teardrop shaped silver craft, and it was like intelligent. The craft itself was like intelligent, and like he sat down in the seat, and anything he thought and everything, like they went to and they could go. And it was Flight of the Navigator. It was badass, and it showed you. That was it. I know. I snapped. Some of you are remembering. So Flight of the Navigator show you. Yes, and it is interdimensional academy. That's the key too. This is where you see a flash of white light that's called neutrino light. You see the little flash of light. That's it stepping between dimensions. The craft that do that. You have different craft doing different things out here. That's for sure. We got a ton of different things. So it's very easy when you just see a flashing light or a weird light in the sky to say it could be anything. So the biggest part about this is you need to understand that how they're pulling this off is they're creating a bubble around them. Okay. And they can lean forward with propulsion and just move the bubble in any direction that they want. And this is how it's working. This is exactly how it's described by all the guys in the video as well. This is how it's working. So more breadcrumbs for things that we never knew. I mean, these guys came out and said a ton of this in front of Congress. It's on record, it's on film, and they shared it in the video. So you need to know this. When you need to know the fundamentals of how all this is going down. Even though at the moment we can't point to a board and show you every single little tidbit, but like they've come out and they've just dropped all this to where they're letting us know they've back engineered all this to this point, and it's here, and that we have multiple species here, and they're here, they're mixed in with us. The reptilians are shapeshifters. Okay, they are the tears, man. I'm telling you, that's why it's said in judgment in the end, God comes back for harvest. It's a parable about separating the wheat from the shaft, the wheat from the tare. Okay? It's a separation. It's where they separate mankind and the true souls here out from the wicked, the jinn that have been hijacking everything. It's a separation. It's a spiritual separation. It's a huge event. It's the event. It's judgment. It's a part of judgment. So, the dead in Christ will rise first in this, and he returns with a sword, man. Look, I believe in a higher power. I believe something created every single thing around us and that they're watching this meticulously. I believe that this place was created for, just like they said, for you to have free will played out and to tempt you and to see if you can overcome. The biggest problem I see is that the jinn are overpowering and that there's no great teacher here to teach people this. I can't reach enough. The masses need to know this information, especially the stuff I'm getting ready to start dropping on Saturdays. There's keys and gems that are not talked about anywhere else. That are going to come to light. It's going to become just a glaring fact in your face. I'm also going to be sharing with you. Listen. This is a code, okay? This is what this is. Someone a long time ago, or people in intelligence, knew that all this control would happen. They knew that powerful man burned down libraries like Alexandria and other ancient places, and they would go out of their way to keep the keys hidden from man. Do you understand? Someone was smarter than the devil, smarter than the enemy. They knew that this would happen. So what they did is they created these stories. And within the stories, a lot of them pertain to real events, but they use these real events to tell a parabolic story. A parable, which is a story within a story. Okay? And when you know that, when you figure this out and you understand that there's something hidden there, well, then you need to go and you need to unhide it. You need to unlock it. That means every single thing that the man Jesus Christ spoke had something hidden in it. He spoke in like nothing but parable. This means, on the surface, these little stories he's telling, or any story in the Bible for that matter, of Samson and the lion, fighting the lion. This all means fighting your ego. Okay? Whenever they talk about going into the upper chamber or into the cave, all these are part of the code. What I'm going to tell you is that all these things mean something esoterically, and those that know the code can see it. When you know that every time he says, go in and go within your chamber and pray, it means to go within. Okay? And all these stories, all the parables have a hidden meaning, and I'm going to tell you, they all reflect back to the same thing. Okay? And it's how to get out of here. You see, they plucked full stories from your Bible trying to hide this from you. Because it said it flat out. it told you flat out how to get out of here. And they're like, oh, that's out of here. That's out of here. But because they were blind, and God is a higher power, and Jesus spoke in parable and hid it within the parable, these fools did not know the code. When you're blessed with the code, you can then apply the code to every parable, and you can see every color means something. Do you understand? This goes deep. And I'm going to start to show you these things because that's the only way to do it. Seeing is believing. After showing you, it's going to be the best by example. I'm going to show you illustrated examples along the way here, every step of the way. And you're going to see just how much has been embedded, how much has been encoded. And then it's done. Then the cat's out. Then it's out there. Cat's out the bag. Yeah. You'd be surprised though that you could bring shocking information to people, and like some people just like, oh, drop it, go on to the next thing. Life changing, like the secret of secrets, and like they still don't care. So that's why they say don't cast your pearls amongst swine. Your knowledge around people that don't deserve it. Yeah, so why waste your time? Yeah, basically it's what it's saying. Much love. No, it's not Taco Tuesday. Not yet. Here we are. On this Monday. I'll be back. Well, as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll look to see you guys here next time for some Underground World News Live, and that'll be on Wednesday. Much love, Jay from the Ville. And there's all these different things. There's even books called Bible Code and all this stuff. What I'm talking is different. What I'm gonna be exposing, putting out there, ain't no one ever done. It's nowhere. And it's something that God's just had me sitting on for a long time. And, you know, everybody tries to cherry pick everything else. This would be one thing they can't cherry pick. It's the beautiful thing about the Most High is you can't fake it. Joe Rogan and these clowns can get out here and they could smoke their DMT trying to reach God. But if they aligned themselves the right way, they would do it the proper way and they would reach God, but they're not doing it and they're not teaching you that. There's a process of living righteous and raising it, but it's forbidden by them because they're devils. So the only option that they've got is to smoke their DMT. It's the closest thing that they've got to getting to it. The closest thing that they've got. Cheating the system. But the beautiful thing is God's not stupid. And you can only see little leprechauns and in part of the realm when you do it, kind of like doing shrooms or anything else. You're really, the spiritual echelon is not there. God made sure you could not cheat this. You cannot be evil and raise your chrism. Does not work. Does not work. You can't do it. You sever your attachment. This is the ultimate design that no devil can hijack. You can't bypass. You can't fool it. You literally have to live your life out righteous to achieve it. And raise your vibration. The higher powers got them every time. I hope you believe. Running out of time. Much love, y'all. Look, God bless. I thank you for everything. I'll see you here on the next one. You know it. Much love, Whips. Much love in the name of the Most High. God bless everybody. Much love, all the pure bloods. Dreadlock says, Dalbootians. Much love for all you guys. God bless.